Hey there and welcome. If you're watching this, odds are you've recently arrived in Spain after being displaced from Ukraine. First off, we're really glad you're here. Look, arriving in a new country under these kinds of circumstances is incredibly tough, and I know figuring out your legal paperwork is probably weighing heavily on your mind right now. But let's just take a deep breath. Today's explainer is going to be a completely stress-free, highly practical guide to get your paperwork sorted out quickly and correctly. We're going to walk through exactly what you need to do, step by step, so you can get settled without the headache.
I totally get it. You're in a brand new country, looking at unfamiliar systems, maybe navigating a new language, and it's completely normal to feel a bit overwhelmed by the idea of Spanish bureaucracy. But let me reassure you right out of the gate. This specific process for people displaced from Ukraine is a completely different ballgame. It is incredibly fast, super straightforward, and it's intentionally designed by the Spanish government to give you immediate peace of mind. Seriously, you don't need to fear this process, you just need to follow a few simple steps.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our quick roadmap. First, understanding temporary protection. 2, the required document checklist. 3, our step-by-step application process. 4, receiving your status. And 5, some important reminders and a quick disclaimer.
All right, starting right off with Section 1, Understanding Temporary Protection.
So, what does this actually mean? Well, first off, we need to draw a hard line here. Temporary protection is not standard asylum. Standard asylum in pretty much any country is a lengthy, complex legal maze that can literally drag on for months or even years. Temporary protection, on the other hand, is a fast, highly specific scheme set up just for people displaced from Ukraine. Following EU directives, the Spanish government streamlined this so efficiently that the maximum time for a decision is just 24 hours. Honestly, it's an incredible relief and a brilliantly rapid turnaround.
And the rights you get with this status, they are absolutely huge. Once approved, this guarantees you legal residence in Spain. It hands you an immediate work permit so you can legally find a job right away. Plus, it gets you plugged straight into the Spanish healthcare system, ensures access to education and social services for you and your family, and gives you the freedom to move anywhere within the country. It is essentially the golden key to living and integrating into Spain right now. Now, as you navigate this, you're going to see a couple of key Spanish terms on buildings and official websites, so let's get you familiar with them. The first is CREADE, which translates to a reception, care, and referral center. Think of these as specialized, fast-track hubs set up specifically for this situation. The second one is Policía Nacional, which is simply the national police. You're going to be interacting directly with officials at one of these two places, and knowing these names is going to make finding your way around a whole lot easier.
And here is a massive piece of good news for your peace of mind. Your temporary protection status is completely secure. It has been officially extended by the Council of the European Union and the Spanish government all the way until March 4th, 2027. So if you already have your physical card, guess what? You don't even need to do any extra paperwork for this extension. It is automatically valid until that 2027 date.
Moving right along to Section 2, the required document checklist. Now, what's really great about this step is that it's a zero-surprise list. According to the Ministry of Inclusion, here is exactly what you need to gather. First, a passport, an ID document, or an official travel document if you don't happen to have a passport. Now, if you're applying with your family, you absolutely must bring the official documents proving you're related. We're talking marriage certificates, birth certificates, or adoption papers. Finally, if you're a citizen of a different nationality who was legally living in Ukraine before February 24, 2022, you've got to bring proof of that residency plus proof that you can't safely return to your home country.
Okay, quick insider tip from folks in the community who have already gone through this exact process. The official rulebook says the police will take your photograph digitally on site, right? Well, community members highly recommend bringing a few extra physical passport-sized photos with you anyway, just in case. Sometimes, certain local offices or specific officers might still ask for physical photos. So keeping a couple in your pocket could literally save you a headache and a whole second trip down to the station.
Let's get to the action plan. Section 3, the step-by-step application process.
Listen up, because this is absolutely crucial. You have to do this in person. Personal appearance is 100% mandatory. You cannot apply online, you cannot send a lawyer, and you can't have a family member go do it for you. You must physically go and stand before the police officers. Why? Because they are legally required to take your photograph and capture your fingerprints right there on site. No exceptions.
So how do we actually do this? It's a simple, logical 4-step sequence. Step 1, request your appointment. They call it a cita previa, and you have to do this by phone. Step 2, gather those exact documents we just went over. Step 3, attend your appointment in person. Hand over the paperwork and get your fingerprints taken. And step 4, receive your official resolution. See? Simple, clear, and completely manageable.
So where are you actually going for step 3? Well, that depends entirely on where you're staying in Spain. If you're near Madrid, Barcelona, Malaga, or Alicante, you're going to book your appointment at one of those dedicated CREADE centers we talked about. But if you're in a city that doesn't have a CREADE center, like Valencia for instance, you will go to a specifically enabled Policia Nacional station. Just remember, you've got to lock in that initial appointment by calling the specific phone numbers listed on the official Ministry of Inclusion website.
Almost there. Section 4, receiving your status.
If you take away just one number from today, make it 24. 24 hours. That is the maximum legal amount of time it takes for the Asylum and Refugee Office to process and issue an urgent resolution recognizing your residence and work rights. It is an incredibly fast turnaround, explicitly designed to get you legally protected without the wait.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how your timeline is going to play out. On day 1, during that in-person appointment, the police are going to hand you a receipt that has your NIE on it. That's your foreigner identification number. Hold on to that piece of paper, because within 24 hours of that appointment, you are officially granted your residence and work rights. Then, down the road, you'll make a separate appointment to get your physical plastic card, which is known as the Thai card. And, as we mentioned earlier, your protection under the status is totally valid all the way until March 4th, 2027.
And finally, Section 5, important reminders and our disclaimer.
Once you've got that temporary protection locked in, what's next? You've got 2 simple follow-up steps to really integrate into your new local setup. First up is the empadronamiento. It sounds like a mouthful, but it just means registering your address at the local town hall, so the city actually knows you live there. Once that's done, step 2 is applying for your local health card, which physically gets you into the doctor's offices and hospitals in your specific neighborhood.
Just a quick heads up before you go. This explainer is meant to be informational guidance, not official legal advice. Bureaucratic rules and appointment phone numbers can occasionally shift, so always verify the latest details directly on the official Spanish government website at ukrainiaurgente.inclusion.gov.es. The paperwork might be temporary, but the peace of mind you get from having it sorted is absolutely real. So, now that you've got a clear map to secure your status, what's the very first thing you're going to explore in your new Spanish community?
That was a quick overview. On our website you'll find step-by-step guides to many procedures: the Padrón, the health card, the NIE, the Thai, legalization, and more. The link is in the description. And if you get stuck, message our Telegram bot. We'll walk you through for free, step by step.